Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Bars, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Listen, take a look at this goddamn shirt. We're getting ready for summer, okay? To me, first day of summer has started. Look at that chest hair. All right, listen. I'm a grown fucking man, all right? I'm just ready for it. A lot of people think this summer's going to be this, summer's going to be that. Listen, it's about to be a fucking mutt boy summer, all right? Some people thought it was going to be a hot girl summer. Some people thought it was going to be a white boy summer. It's going to be a mixed mutt boy summer. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. If there's one underrepresented, there's an extra ended in that word. It's the mutts. It's the half-breeds. The only thing, listen, I'm a daywalker, blade-like. I can mix in the cultures. But the sad truth, I'm not accepted by either. Okay, I'm really not. I'll never be pure enough Puerto Rican, and I'll never be wide enough to be racist. Just can't be. My parents are the example of equality. Martin Luther King's dream is my parents. You know? A jibarito from the jungles, the forests in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, meets a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. Hitler's dream, you know, just the poster child for Nazi Germany. That's my mother. Very sweet lady. They mixed together and they made this. They made a goddamn mutt boy summer. There's no stopping it now. Genie's out the bottle. And I don't know if you're ready to rub that lamp. How you guys doing? We get no representation in the world. Mutts, mixed, you know, mixies, whatever you want to call us. And you know what? I don't care. I don't mind because there's no canceling with mutts, you know? There's no canceling mutts. You can just teeter-totter between the worlds. I was looking at Ellie Kemper, I believe her name is, from The Office. Apparently she's canceled. That's why you don't want to be full something. You know, they can attack you. You zig when you should zag. You say the wrong word on a private voicemail that was leaked and you canceled. You over your whole life. Okay? But don't let that distract you from the fact that this is a mutt boy summer. All right? It could be a mutt girl summer. But look at this goddamn shirt. Okay? It's summertime here. It's coming. It's 10 something in the morning and I'm already sweating. Okay? Welcome to Texas. Yeehaw, motherfuckers. Yippee-ki-yay. All right? Got a nice swamp going in my nether regions. All right? Alert. Alert. Gotta get powder. Huh? Keep it moving, pimpin'. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wednesday. And we get weird on Wednesdays, and that's what we are doing right now. Getting weird for you. Listen. Welcome. I did really see about Ellie Kemper. I think her name is. I need to Google that name just to be sure that that's who I'm actually talking about. Ellie Kemper? Is this her? Yep. This is what's crazy about cancel culture and Twitter. Twitter is so fucking toxic. Your boy fantasizes about leaving it every day. I don't really go on there. I haven't posted on Twitter in who knows how long. I'll probably get canceled for something I said 4 years ago. But there's a photo showing Ellie Kemper. If you don't know who she is, redhead from The Office. One day I'm going to be canceled because I referred to a redhead as a redhead. Like, how dare you? It is a Rojo-strained person. Okay, you canceled. But a photo showing Ellie Kemper attending a ball believed to be linked to white supremacy has resurfaced, prompting critics to accuse the unbreakable Kimmy Shit star of racist behavior. Well, she's 41 now. And what it was is an image of her being named the Queen of St. Louis Veiled Prophet Ball as a teen in 1999. The Veiled Prophet Ball is a secret fair originally formed in 1878 by elites to honor the ritual of Mardi Gras, and is reportedly associated with white supremacy. Here's what's crazy is, do I know Ellie Kemper? I don't know her at all. Just know her from The Office. She was great in it. Have a mild crush on her, all right? But listen. This is when shit gets weird, is when, if you even notice in this article, they like stoking the flame. I once had a kid. Here's a story that reflects this. There was a kid one time. Your boy used to go to a place called Lane Park. Shout out to Lane Park. We would go there almost every day during summer. Back when it was a fucking Mutt Boy summer. All right? Bringing it back. Mutt Boy summer. We would go there. We'd get these free lunches. It was dope. It's like when you're a kid, you don't know you're poor. But then you're like, you look back on it, you're like, oh, I was getting free lunches every day. It was just dope too. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. There's a spot that would give out free lunches to the kids in the park. We would just hang out there all day, be fucking water rats, going to Lane Park pool. We would just hang out. It was a silly goose time. All right. It was great. I'd be catching frogs and shit. Just mingling with the townspeople. But I remember one day I was hanging out with these kids, and this one kid comes up to me and he goes, "Hey dude, Evan." And I go, "Yeah, that's my fucking name, and welcome to the Mutt Boy Summer." He goes, "Dude, fucking," I'm just gonna make up a name. He goes, "Billy, I think he was talking shit about you over there." And I was like, "What? During Mutt Boy Summer? He was talking shit about me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was about you." I was like, "What the fuck was he saying about Mutt Boy Summer? He's talking shit about my pigeons?" Motherfucker, but not been talking about my pigeons. And then he's like, "That you're like stupid and stuff arguably could have been true. Listen, I was homeschooled." I mean, they might not have been telling a lie. So then I'm like, okay. I go up to the kid like 5 minutes later. I came up with my game plan, strategy, all that. I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, I heard you were talking shit." And I was already so pissed off and I was like ready to just throw down. Keep in mind, I was like 10 years old, maybe even younger. And the kid's like, "Dude, I heard you were talking shit." And then I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "I don't even know you." And he goes, "I don't even know you." And then I was like, "Well, how do you know who I am then?" And you think I was talking shit. And he goes, "Fucking Kyle," we'll just call this kid Kyle, "told me that you were talking shit." So before me and this kid got into it, we found out who the source was. And it was the kid that just made up for no reason that we were talking shit because he was fucking bored. And he just wanted to watch a fight. Like a goddamn the worst UFC fan. He just was bored like a little fucking haired Dana White. He was just going to start a fight between a couple people just for his own amusement. So we went up to the kid and we like cornered him and we were going to beat the shit out of him. We were like, "Why did you do this?" And he goes, "I just wanted to see who would win." There was literally no good reason. And the point I'm making, and looking back on it, that's pretty funny. And I bet that kid turned out to be fucking Dana White or someone. This kind of shit happens with reporting this way, where people write things like, "is reportedly associated with white supremacy," while there's no real evidence. Because I went down a little rabbit hole trying to find anything solid, because sometimes when things like this come out, it's such a crazy story where I'm just like, man, is this real? Is she really linked to this? And I wouldn't stand for it, especially on Mutt Boy Summer. Shit. Not in this Mutt Boy Summer. I start looking at it. I can't find anything other than people's tweets on Twitter with zero evidence. A lot of he say, she say bullshit. All right? And here's the thing. Here's the most ridiculous thing. This is all fabricating out of thin air. But sometimes you don't see the effects of this cancel culture. You just think, oh, people are so ridiculous, and you move on. The truth is her career is ruined. There's so many people that have been canceled by cancel culture wrongfully, that their career's just fucking over. You don't see the months after, the years after of them trying to like claw their way back to a place where they're financially okay. Whether they're divorced, whether they have house payments and all this shit that they've accumulated. They weren't, expecting to not be able to work. Now they're working at fucking Chili's. Now they're a fucking Uber driver. Listen, I have nothing against Uber. Okay? I did it for a while. But it's just crazy that we just fabricate all this stuff out of nowhere, and then they're done, and then everybody moves on to the next thing. The people who like cancel people on Twitter, they feel good for themselves. They, recluse back into a little fucking troll bridge, and then they wait for their next victim. And that's the way it works, And here, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but when you start talking about things that were formed in 1878, hey, don't want to burst your bubble, but probably everything before the 1900s has some kind of roots in racism. Okay? It is what it is. We know our past. Okay? And it's important to know our past, but to not just completely erase and cancel our past. We're supposed to learn from it. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Bars. Shout out to COD. I wasn't even planning on talking about this. We were just going to have a Mutt Boy summer today. Oh, yeah. Mutt Boy summer. I can't go on just momentum of bits, okay? I have to earn your attention every single time. One of the greatest things that I have seen came into existence in my life last night. Universal Pictures is really toying with the idea of having a Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover. This makes my willy tingle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen. There could be nothing better to me than seeing fucking Dom Toretto, where the fuck did that come from? Have to save the planet from dinosaurs and doing it for family. Listen, this would reboot the whole idea of what cinematic experiences are. And like at the end of it, you realize Paul Walker has never been dead. And he's the one that created the dinosaurs. Listen, we need a big twist in this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for going there. But how amazing would it be to seeing Dom Toretto pulling up against the fucking 10 mile or whatever, the 1 mile, no, quarter mile. They're racing for pinks. And next to him is just a goddamn raptor. And he's just like,
you do this for family. These dinosaurs maybe have raced everyone, but they never raced us.
You had me, you never had me. You never had your car. Phenomenal flick. Listen, the first Fast and Furious, phenomenal. I watched it 2 weeks ago. All right? It's a great movie, still holds up. Makes you want to just get in your car and go. Live your life a quarter mile at a time. I don't know what happened to Vin Diesel. I don't know where it got weird. I don't know if he just, when you're doing something for so long, you just melt into the character. But then there was like no more character development. It's like the characters he plays all blend together, where he's like, Dom Toretto is fucking Groot in some way, It just, but listen, if we could do this with dinosaurs, I would be ecstatic. I'm ready to see those kind of crossovers with all movies. Like, why not? The greatest thing that Marvel has done is create a cinematic universe. It'd make my willy tingle something fierce whenever I'd be watching like a Captain America movie, and they'd be like, you'd see a missile in the background and be like Stark Enterprise. And I'd just be like, oh shit, that's Iron Man. When they'd be talking about vibranium in another movie, and I'm like, that's where Black Panther is. Wakanda forever. Rest in peace. That's going to be a rough one. Black Panther, that movie. I don't even know what they do. You know, I'm sure they'll pull it off. But it's hard, you know, to keep a movie going when you don't have the main character, Black Panther, and the movie's called Black Panther. They know. But I mean, Black Panther T'Challa filled the role of his father when his father passed away in the movie. It's just hard when you have a character actually pass away, and then you have to replace them within the story. It's just like, I remember watching the Fast and Furious movie where Paul Walker passed away mid-movie. And I think they filmed like 3/4 of the movie with him in it, and then he passed away. So they had to do like a bunch of computer special effects to make it look like he was in the movie. It's like such a delicate situation where they're just like, I remember watching him in the end where his character is like going through and there's explosions, and I'm like, please just don't kill him in a car accident. Don't do what really happened in life to him right now, you know? But I thought they did it in a beautiful way. The way Fast and Furious, dude, I'll be honest with you. When Paul Walker was on the beach and they start playing that music, it's been a long day without you, my friend. When you first hear that piano, and you see fucking Dom, family forever. It's like all Vin Diesel did was watch Sylvester Stallone movies to learn how to act. It was just like, family's forever. What are we gonna do about the kid? Yeah, let's just let him play with this kid in the beach. And then you see fucking, they're all looking at him and they're talking about family, and that fucking piano keys hit. Your boy, tears just coming down my face in the goddamn movie theater. I'm an emotional wreck in there, okay? It's a Mutt Boy summer, but it's a Mutt Boy fucking rainstorm, all right? And I'm just like, fuck. This shit is emotional AF. And, because that's the thing. You get lost in those Fast and Furious movies. It's fun to make fun of them, but when you're in them, you're living your life a quarter mile at a time. And that's how I was. I watched all the Fast and Furious before going to see that one. And I was just in the story. I wasn't ready to lose Paul Dub. No one was. And I remember when the lights turn on. You know when you're like emotional and your eyes are all misty? And you try to do that like misty-eyed, like, oh, fuck, I'm tired. You know how when you like yawn, your eyes will water a little bit? That's what I tried doing. I tried pulling it off. And I was like, fuck, these lights are pretty fucking bright right now. And for some reason, no one else in my theater was emotional like me. And I'm just like, well, this is awkward. Now I got to walk out of here a fucking wethead. And everybody in here is a fucking sociopath. Moving on. It's going to be a hot Mutt Boy summer. Listen, I saw an article last night. Trump is telling people that he's going to be back in office by August. He's just saying that. He says there's a bunch of evidence about the fraud and he's going to be back end of summer. And I thought that's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. But could you fucking imagine if that really happened? If everything really got overturned and Biden had to move out? And when I say Biden had to move out, I mean they had to unbury his corpse and take him to a new cemetery. Because Biden's been gone for a while. It's been a weekend at Bernie's at the White House for a hot minute. Kamala's over here. I enjoyed the long weekend. She's the president. And I'm kidding. I wish Biden nothing but the best. You goddamn. I don't know if he's just not. They're not giving him baby's blood or what, but it's just, man, I couldn't imagine doing that job. I don't even want to run a supermarket. Have to deal with that shit. Can you imagine trying to run the United States of America with this culture that we're now living in, where it's like everybody either loves you or hates you? It's so polarizing. Could you imagine doing that job no matter what you do? it's never good enough, that would be the worst gig ever. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to work at a grocery store where I had to manage it. So I'm just like, you fucks, I know, I don't want to run this. And then you can't get anything done, but everybody blames you for everything. But dude, if Trump came back, that would be the wildest shit of all time. Dude, I still see people commenting on things on social media that Trump is still my president and that you guys are all idiots because you don't realize that he's still legally the president. I'm like, what farts have you just been smelling in your fucking place? Have gotten you so fucking high that you think this is reality. It's a wild world out there. It's so wild right now. Everything going on. Like, I really think, and I see this a lot when I go to the gym, where I go anywhere, like even in the sauna. Listen, I'm an old soul, okay? I really am. I'm an old fucking man. I've been an old man since I was a little kid. One time when we were camping, I forgot where we were. I think it was like Campland at the Bay. My parents lost me. Happened all the time. One time they left me at church. Could have got molested, but I was fine. Okay? I'd have beat the shit out of some old pastor. Anyway. We were camping. They lost me at the campground. They couldn't find me. They're searching everywhere for me. They're basically putting out the red alerts that a kid is missing. They're walking by an old group of people. There was like 15 old men around a fire playing cards. And they're just look over and they were like, let's go look at this group. Maybe they saw a little kid walk by. So they go up to this group of old men playing cards and around the fire. And there I am just in the middle of them playing cards with fucking Bob. And they're like, Evan, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm fucking stealing these old men's retirement money. And that's what I've always been my whole life. I've always been an old man. The next day we were walking around the campground and old men were just like, hey, Evan. And then my parents would be like, how do you know that guy? I'd be like, oh, we play cards. I am who I am, okay? I enjoy sitting on a bench, looking at pigeons, okay? I get cranky if I don't eat. I like staring at fireflies at night. I'm an old fucking man, and I've always been this way, okay? But the point I'm making, the whole reason I say all that, is when I go into like a sauna or something like that, I love human interactions. I don't want to sit there silently next to someone. Just like I love talking to people on the podcast, I love just talking to people. I love social interactions. And I notice that when I'm sitting there and there's like 5 or 6 people in the sauna, everybody's on their phone like goddamn zombies. And I think it's like one of those movies where they put something in the water to like make a whole city like zombies and lethargic and everything like that. I feel like social media and phones have turned us into goddamn zombies where we don't really care about anything else because our frequency is so heavy into that. It's like goddamn heroin has taken over society where it's just like we're so glued to it and we're just like, this is 70% of our focus. This is what matters. Everything that goes on in this goddamn little magic box. It holds everything. And when it becomes such a big thing, everything outside of it becomes so much smaller to the point that we're so locked into everything going on. We don't even care that there's UFOs around now. Can you imagine 10 years ago if they would have said, hey, there's aliens and shit? We would have lost our goddamn minds. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, this would have been a crazy phenomenon. There would be people outside on their patios with signs every night. There would have been people just shooting in the air. Don't land here. This is our land. All right? You go over to goddamn Mexico. It is what it is. But that's so nuts that we're so distracted. It's just a weird thing. That's why there's like, you got to put little importance on looking dumb in society. Because everybody is so worried about their own life and so distracted with everything that goes on in this goddamn little box. Like everything moves on so quick. Even like this Ellie Kemper stuff. Even like the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff. Even like the Brian Callen, the Chris D'Elia. All this stuff. It goes away so fast. And all you got to do is weather the storm. And then it's like the whole cancel culture moves on. It's like a goddamn tornado. And it's because people's attention spans, because there's so much coming through the magic box. This rant right here should let you know that I'm the oldest man there ever was. Okay? That was basically a speech about, like, get off my lawn kind of thing. But to be honest, there are, I feel like it's normal. That's the thing, is you wonder about that, and I wonder about this. It's like, it's one of the things I ponder, you know, when I'm being an old fucking man looking at fireflies at night. Is, does every generation, it does get better. It gets better athletically, it gets smarter, it's got a better system. I feel like every time people pop out kids, that's the 2.0 version of them. At least in the sense of it has the ability, the potential to be better. And I think it's just like you can fill up your computer with viruses, or you can fill it up with software that's utility and productivity. You can fuck up, you know, a little kid and, you know, with social media, with getting them, you know, inundating them to like YouTube and all this stuff, and just turn them into little zombies from a young age. I feel like I read an article that was talking about that, about how screens and everything for little kids can be just as bad as fucking making them a child star, with like their addiction to that kind of dopamine release that you get from screens or you get from attention. But I wonder about that with each generation, that, you know, on paper, everything's supposed to get better. There's supposed to be progress. You learn from the previous generation. Not only that, you have like the genetic makeup of the previous generation. Just like if your ancestors were scared of spiders, solid chance that through your DNA, you're going to be afraid of spiders. It's like all that kind of crazy shit. But I wonder if there's a drop-off point. We feel like society is always going to be here. We feel like we can't fuck it up because this is just, we've always been around. But like, we're so fresh in this game. We're little freshies with how long the earth has been around and everything. And we really could fuck everything up and we could just be gone. And sometimes I wonder if that's a reality. If it's like we're a couple generations away from just nuking people because of cancel culture. We might not even have to be honest with you. I just saw this thing this morning. Ready for it?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of left field, a new virus emerges. China reports its first case of H10N3, bird flu, infecting a human.
Step right up. Get ready for the next pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't learned anything. Couldn't be those wet markets over in China, could it? Well, we're gonna have to suffer through another zoonotic disease. Round 2, fight. Listen. Looks like someone gave a man in China the bird. All right, this article, this writer is trying to be cute. The bird flu, that is. And the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, is making sure that someone was a bird and not a human. The fuck are you trying to say? Basically, there was a 41-year-old man from Zhenjiang in Jiangsu province of China, had indeed been infected with the H10N3 avian influenza virus. Great. Just great. During the last week of April, the man had developed a fever, but just not any kind of cowbell type fever. Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and write the goddamn article. I'm sorry, listen. I'm sorry. This guy's name is Bruce Lee. That's hilarious. Okay, you have a pass. Because your name's a joke. Stupid. This fever got worse and worse until he was admitted to a local hospital on April 28th. Oh, this was almost a month ago. Oh, okay. Doctors took samples of respiratory fluid from the man and sent them off to the CDC, who on May 28th conducted genetic analysis on the specimens. What did they find? The H10N3 bird flu virus. Fortunately, the man eventually got better at the point of being ready for discharge from the hospital. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. This is going to be crazy because I feel like this isn't going to stop. We got very lucky with COVID, all right? Very lucky in the sense that it wasn't that bad. Why? Take a look at a goddamn pangolin. You put me in a cage with 50 pangolins, I'm beating the shit out of every single pangolin you put in front of me, okay? Look at those things. They just like this. Please don't hurt me, sir. And listen, no offense to pangolins. They're very sweet creatures. They're being hunted. They need to be protected. People think that by eating them, it's like Viagra. Listen, leave the pangolins alone. In fact, we should be thanking the pangolins because COVID wasn't as bad as it could have been. Now, stepping into the arena now, goddamn bird flu from chickens. Chickens, okay? Do you know what chickens eat? Chickens are carnivores. Chickens will eat other goddamn chickens. I used to have chickens growing up too. Yeah, I know. Man of the pigeons. But I also had chickens. Raising chickens is a whole nother game, okay? Because you got to worry about other things. Because sometimes you got some free-range chickens in the backyard. Dogs like to hop the fence and try their luck at them. You know how many dogs I've shot with a BB gun trying to kill my chickens? Listen, I once had a dog running around my backyard with one of my chickens in its mouth, trying to tear it apart, taking it out with BB guns. Drops the chicken, hops the fence, fairy dust. That dog doesn't exist anymore. But here's the problem. It fucked up my chicken real bad. Blood everywhere. My chickens, they're a survivor. And that chicken made it. But here's the fucked up part. Its butt was eaten off. It would still try to lay eggs months later, and they would just come out soft, gooey things. Listen, parental discretion advised on this podcast. Had to change the chicken's name from Speedy, because I used to call it Speedy because it was fast as fuck, boy. Changed his name to Buttless. Listen, simple name, but I was just a little kid. The point I'm making is that I think bird flu would be a little bit tougher than COVID. Now, I'm no expert. And I feel like influenza is a little bit trickier of a virus than coronavirus. Now, am I talking completely out of my ass about knowing which is worse? Yes, of course I am. That's what you do on podcasts, baby. Especially during Mutt Boy summer. You just come in here with ideas that you pretend are facts. Okay? But isn't it crazy that another zoonotic disease, a disease that's jumped from animals to humans, has happened again in China? And I'm all for, listen, we are the world. We are the world. But we're over here worried about people recycling straws and shit like that over here to save the goddamn turtles. But no one gives a shit about all the crazy shit that China does in the wet markets. It's pure insanity. Like, Google wet markets, Chinese wet markets. You're going to see some fucked up shit. And I feel like until we hold China to a certain standard, this is only going to get worse. This is literally the first time bird flu has ever jumped to a human. Yeah, I was reading this article. However, in humans, okay, so the H1N3 avian influenza virus typically causes no more than a mild disease. However, in humans, it can be quite a different story when it comes to the bird flu. The man's immune system was in effect a 41-year-old virgin. In fact, practically all human immune systems are virgins. All right, this guy's trying to be silly too much. Your immune system has never really seen this particular strain of virus, therefore it can behave like a virgin, touched by the virus for the very first time. I probably should have found a different article because this guy is just not giving me the facts. All right, and I went with Forbes. And this is what I get. Yeah, I think it's crazy. And then that like leads to the next question is, are we going to, like, if this broke out and it became a thing and people started like, bird flu was just ripping through people, kind of like swine flu. Dude, that was the crazy thing. When I was in Puerto Rico, swine flu was huge. It was pretty nuts. People were, in the streets passing out hand sanitizer and all this stuff. Like, it was a mini pandemic when I was living in Puerto Rico. If bird flu started jumping and, it broke out to the size of COVID, would we go into another lockdown? Would it become a regular thing if these conditions didn't improve and these zoonotic diseases started jumping even more and more? Because I feel like once this happens, it just starts happening more often. The scary one is the zombie deer one. That's the one I don't want to jump. It like literally turns deer's brains into mush and they just become more aggressive and cannibalistic and lethargic, literally turning them into zombies. I'll be honest though, that's partly why I moved to Texas, because as soon as that virus starts breaking out here, your boy's living out his fantasy. Your boy's living out a zombie fantasy. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me on Wednesday. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked the podcast, if you enjoyed it. Thank you for being a part of it. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay off your phone a little bit. All right? I know you're listening to this podcast probably on your phone. Just stay off of it a little bit. Decide, I'm going to do something 30 minutes away from my phone. It'll make you feel better. If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, put the phone down. Go for a walk. Stare at some goddamn birds. And if you're in the area, stare at some fireflies. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.